today, I happen to be in Bakersfield, California, with a person who's the water practice director for the Southwest for Ardura. Her name is Dolores Salgado, and she is going to tell us all about introducing girls to engineering. Loli, I want to welcome you to the program.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Loli, I'm so excited that Ardura has gotten involved in introducing a girl to engineering. What an exciting program. I have been involved throughout my career in bringing younger people, the younger generation, to do what we do, not only because I feel that we have an amazing career, and the thing, if anyone has 10% of the fun that I had during my career doing engineering, they're going to be very happy people. Would you agree to that?
I would agree. It does take a while. It took a while for me to enjoy it. I was a very engineer type, probably growing up, more of the serious type, very shy, your typical engineer, right? All the jokes and all the stereotypes, I fit that mold. And as I grew as a professional, now I have had so much fun. I use my career to inspire other girls and guys the same, to pursue their dreams and maybe, find a purpose in what they're doing and make it fun. If we're not having fun, then we're not doing the right thing. And so I have introduced that to my own life, to the people that I lead. So I think you are absolutely right in that this is a fun career.
Oh yeah, it gets you the opportunity to see so many things, and really our profession is so diverse within the engineering profession, and it's absolutely fun. But let's go back a little bit to the beginnings of Dolores Salgado, to Loli when she was growing up. I would love to hear a little bit about your story and how it all started for you here in your education.
Yeah, it's been a long journey. I've been a civil engineer now for 25 years, and I didn't even know what a civil engineer was. Growing up in McFarland, I don't know if you've watched the movie McFarland, USA.
Number one fan.
The town. That is where I grew up. My parents were migrant workers. They would migrate up and down California and then eventually settled in the town of McFarland. That's where I went to elementary school, middle school, and high school. There I was raised basically there. Never thought that I would be an engineer because I didn't even know what it was. But I was involved with a program at McFarland High School, and it was called Career Beginnings. Honestly, I didn't even have a vision for my career. I didn't even have plans to go to college, and I'm a senior at this point in high school. And someone asks me, a college advisor at Cal State Bakersfield asked me, Dolores, where are you planning to go to college? And I said, oh, I hate school. I'm not going to go to college. And he was shocked. I mean, this is what he dedicates his life to do, go all around the country recruiting students to attend Cal State. And here I am, a good friend. He's a friend of my family, and I'm not even thinking of going to college. So he started, just asking me, what do I like about school? I said, nothing. Playing sports. Is there a school that all I have to do is play sports? I was really good at sports. I wouldn't consider myself really competitive, but I'm very focused, very committed, and I love teamwork, and that just drove me to get good grades in school. So he goes on to explore, how mentors do, and good advisors, they're trying to guide you without guiding you. And he said, what do you get good grades in? And I said, well, I guess if you ask me that way, math, I would win the competitions on the chalkboard. And I found that to be fun. And so he said, well, these are some career options. And he showed me several of them. And what drew my attention was civil engineering. There were bridges, a lot of great architecture type of, projects, and I could see it. And that's what drew me to civil engineering. And he said, just fill out the application. San Diego's beautiful. You might want to go to San Diego State. And so that's what, I ended up going to San Diego State. I'd never been there. I didn't know anybody there. And here I am from a small town of McFarland. When I graduated, my parents have supported, all of my endeavors. They have never said no. I know a lot of traditional Hispanic, Latino families, nope, you're not going anywhere. My parents weren't like that. They supported me. They sent me on my way. And I remember when my sister dropped me off at San Diego State for the first time, she said, "What are you going to do if you need something?" And I just said, well, I'm going to have to figure it out. And that has been my journey, just figuring it out. After I went to San Diego State, I graduated in 99, and I did the transportation projects. I went to go work for large transportation firms because that's what I had seen. Light rail projects, heavy transportation projects until I moved to Ardura, Legacy IEC.
And within Ardura, you're working in the water sector now. How was that transition?
Yeah, that was a funny story. So going back to how I just go and I just try things, someone guides me. Okay, so 5 years into my career, I get a call. I was working in Orange County at the time. I get a call from a really good friend in San Diego. And she says, "Hey, Dolores, we're looking for water engineers." And I said, "Well, you've got the wrong person. I do transportation and I love it." And she said, "Well, I think that's kind of good enough. We want to interview you. Maybe it'll work out, maybe it won't." So I did end up interviewing there at IEC, was the legacy company before we became Ardura.
Oh, so you came in through an acquisition.
I did 3 years ago, after building IEC for almost 19, 20 years. 3 years ago, we sold to Ardura.
So tell me, how do you like and where do you like to play within Team Ardura? We all have some natural inclinations. Where's Dolores happiest at?
When I started managing projects, I saw how much more control I had with my teams, inspiring them, building their skills, just the way I had been mentored throughout my career. I strongly believe in mentorship, and every project I had a mentor, and every step of my career I had a mentor. So I think that where I am most happy is managing people and managing teams. So all those spreadsheets and all those performances, metrics I have to do as part of the business. We're in it for a business. But my favorite part and what drives me today is I pursue projects so that my team can be excited about building. Right now, we are working on a minor league baseball stadium for the LA Dodgers. How fun is that? We're going to get to go to the games. I have been taking pictures. I've seen the foundation. You know who else is really proud of this? The other day, I was showing my parents, this is going to be a stadium. And they're like, I can't see it yet. But to let, our engineers have an opportunity to see things materialize, all their hard work, all their, CAD drawings and everything, come together on that project. Plus, when you're on a big project like that, it really builds your people skills, and I really want to add that value to our staff as well.
My goodness, you go from Kevin Costner to the Dodgers. We're really talking California here.
That's right.
This is so exciting. So, where's the stadium going to be at?
The City of Ontario, a major client, and I love working with them. It's over there in the City of Ontario. The LA Dodgers is creating a new minor league there.
How fun. You have to invite me to come back and keep up with that project, because I think that there's going to be some fun things happening while you go into construction, while you begin to test the stadium. I think that we might need to do another one of these programs at the time.
I will take you on a field walk because they are digging trenches today.
Has any of the Dodgers been there by any chance yet?
Yeah, we went to the groundbreaking ceremony and they were there. Mm-hmm.
How fun is that?
I know. Who would have thought? Someone doing water and wastewater engineering is involved in a stadium project.
Hey, but this stadium needs water, right?
Yes.
And it needs transport.
Yes,
needs
they didn't even
facilities.
have one water line there, one signal. And so we're really bringing value to the city because we are most familiar with all of their standards, their requirements. It's a 200-acre site. So there's a lot of people involved. And I've really been able to develop some other relationships with all the architects. As we develop this, it's been so much fun. I can't wait till we get to go see a game. But I have been going out there, during construction and encouraging the engineers to also go and, see all of their hard work, coming together.
So Ardura's engineer of record for that project.
Yes.
And who's the architect?
So we've got Populous designing the stadium. RJM is doing the ball fields and the soccer park, and that's the majority of the site. And then we have Walter P. Moore doing some parking structures. And we have Tilden Coyle is the CMAR. The list goes on and on, but we're working with Dan Beers, Public Works Department over there. He's the principal PM. Cynthia Heredia Torres, she's the PM for all the offsite stuff. So Ardura is overseeing all the offsite improvements. There's even going to be a hotel overlooking the stadium. That's where we can stay.
We could do the next podcast there.
Yes.
I think.
Yes. Look, background will be the ballpark. That will be so much fun.
On a stadium, it makes you scratch your head, going CMAR. But people do that for a living. There's people who are dedicated to stadiums. So I don't think anybody's going to be afraid of doing a project of such significance.
Yes, there was some concern because of the multiple contracts that come along with CMAR, the city's management, on the management side. But Tilden Coyle has done a fantastic job with a master schedule. I think it's like 10 pages long at this point. But really sequencing the procurement of product, lay down staging areas. 200 acres, and every contractor wants to work at the same time. It's quite challenging. So what they did, with the procurement and the way that they're managing it, they've got their whole team out there. Because one thing I haven't mentioned is that the Dodgers wanted the stadium in 3 years. And there was a dairy at that site. So they had to move the cows, buy the property, prepare the EIR, rezone. We went straight into design. So just how the city has been able to provide this value overall for economic reasons, and bringing this all together, I really give them kudos. and all of the consultants that they have selected have really come together to meet these high demands, schedule demands. So to see it in 3 years is going to be amazing, really. And I do give them props. Tilden Coyle has been doing a great job.
Those 3 years for a project like that seems to me like the perfect storm. It's no easy feat. But Lily, let's switch gears a little bit. I'm in Bakersfield during Engineers Week, and I know that you're the chair here, and you're participating in a big way. 4 years now into the program. Tell me a little bit about it. How did you get involved, and what is it?
Yeah, that's a great question, because probably before 4 years ago, I never even kept track of when National Engineers Week was. What a shame. What a shame, because all of our hard work, engineers change the world, and I was too busy working. I was very task-oriented, and February would come and go, and I would do nothing. And so about 4 years ago, the American Council of Engineering Companies, they in California, remember after COVID, and there was just a bunch of disruption in society. There were like social tension, and they wanted to reinstate their diversity, equity, and inclusion committee. And I, keeping all the politics away from it, because it's a rather controversial subject. I was asked by their staff if I wanted to lead the committee. I know there's a lot of value. I was a part of programs like the Math, Engineering, and Science Achievement Program, that their mission and their vision, it's a legislative program in the state of California, is to be able to bring more students from socioeconomically disadvantaged backgrounds into STEM programs, science, technology, math, engineering. Honestly, without that program at San Diego State University, I would have had some trouble. Coming from McFarland into a university, the standards are very different. I needed tutoring. I didn't have money for tutoring. I needed assistance, guidance. My parents were farm workers. So those programs have added value to my career. So I see the value of some of those programs. And I'm not going to say all of them, but that one is near and dear to my heart. So when I started, I volunteered to be the chair for the first year, and then the second year. The third year, I said, okay, this is a volunteer, find someone else. But so 4 years ago, they have this initiative. Every year, there's a resolution passed by some assembly members, in partnership with ACEC, and they celebrate Girl Day and Engineers Week. And throughout the state of California, all the ACEC chapters are doing something, to bring awareness to engineering careers and girls. So today is Girl Day. And I thought, let me partner with Mesa at Bakersfield College. Let me contact the director and see if she wants to partner with us. And we can start something. Like I said, I just go and I just do it. So I put together this committee. I formed this committee. All my friends that are engineers, electrical, petroleum, a lot of people from the board on the MESA program. And we started brainstorming, what can we do to celebrate National Engineers Week, and we're all women, and raise awareness. And so introduce a Girl to Engineering conference at Bakersfield College was birthed at that time. And I just said, let's just go and do it. Let's start inviting high schools. I had no relationships with high schools because I didn't go to high school out here. But we started cold calling and seeing if people would come to our event. The first year we had 80. The second year we had 150. And then the third year we were approaching 200. And this year we have over 300 girls coming tomorrow. So we are just thrilled because local companies have partnered with us. It's turned to $40,000 investment in the lives of these girls, all these high school girls. We charter buses. We bring them onto campus. It's a day filled with wonderful workshops, tours. Our favorite part is we have a resource fair, and they get these little stamps when they go and talk, because we don't want them to be shy. We want them to learn something. We give them questions, and they go talk to the resource fair vendors. And then all of their cards get thrown into a lottery, a big bowl, and we randomly pick 10 girls, and we have $100 bills, and we give them to 10 girls. And they're so excited. They come down like the price is right. It's just so much fun. And that's pretty much how we close up the event so that they can come back the next year. And the advisors, we've developed relationships with all of the high school advisors, the Kern High School District. Angela Blanco has just really promoted our event. We give away shirts, tumblers. I'm thinking we bribe them a little bit with all of these gifts. And so many more companies are just jumping on board. Our two major sponsors that I'm just so grateful that they support the event, CRC and Chevron, have supported this event. And Ardura has been tremendously supportive with my time, all of our marketing material. The podcast team's coming tomorrow. I'm so excited. And all of the support and financial contributions as well. So everybody in the community, it's growing. I think it's bigger than us, really. That's what I tell our committee members. You know, we want to make a difference not only in the high school girls, our panel. We diversify our panel so that there's young college students on the panel, 5 years out of college, 10 years. And it gives them to the opportunity to speak, present, get that confidence. So we're pouring into the community. This year we have the city manager coming out, Christian Clegg. And I was just thrilled that he said yes. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're getting so much more support through our relationships and the cause. It's really something bigger than us. And that's what I tell the committee. This is bigger than us. It's going to grow beyond maybe what we thought. And so we're just building those relationships with the college. The foundation director will be there tomorrow, Cheryl Scott. And we're just really excited about how it's taking a life of its own to bring value to this community where we need more engineers locally. And that's what our main goal is to develop our workforce locally.
You know, Ardura has a diehard commitment to corporate social responsibility. And I think this is just beautiful. This just along the lines of the things that we want to support. Getting to these high school students at a very young age is, I don't believe there is a better way to get these kids. Look at your story. Mm-hmm. You know, getting them to think of engineering as a profession, as a way of life, as a way to contribute to society. Like you said, also, we change the world. And this is fantastic. How, you know, seeing someone who's been 5 years into the profession, 10, 15, and so forth, really shows them the way. It really shows them that they can make a living as engineers, and they see these people as role models. You know, and I think that that's a very attractive way. And I would say that it's more than bribing them. I think it's highly stimulating them to pursue the career in engineering, which I think is a lot of fun. Does the college have a 4-year degree, or is it just a community college for 2 years preparing them for a career somewhere else?
Yes. So the main objective, there are the 2-year programs to get them ready to transfer to the 4-year university. Here in the Kern County area, stories like mine might not be very common. Just launch off and go to a four-year university. A lot of Hispanics, they stay local. And so going to the community college gives them, the tools and the classes and everything so they can be transfer ready.
Lily, would you tell me a little bit more about MESA and what MESA stands for?
So MESA stands for Math, Engineering, and Science Achievement Program. It's a legislative academic program in the state of California. Connie Consuelo Gonzalez is the director at Bakersfield College. I met her, I guess, about six or 7 years ago now. She's been the director there for nearly 20 years. She's dedicated her life to helping students from socioeconomically disadvantaged backgrounds to careers in STEM. And so I met her and she put me on her board, but it is a statewide program, and I'm an alum from the MESA program at San Diego State University. It tremendously helped me get through the very difficult curriculum, math classes, and all of the classes that I had to take by giving me free tutoring, scholarships. They provide so many benefits, free books. The list goes on and on with what they provide the students to make sure that they have an advantage and are able to pursue higher education in engineering careers.
So I can see how this is very personal for you.
It is. It is very personal to me. The other day I got a message from the MESA director at San Diego State. She saw some of these awards and this recognition at Bakersfield College last year, and she said, "Wow, you've made it full circle. I am so proud of you." So it is. It's very personal. So when I partnered with the MESA program for Introduce a Girl to Engineering conference, it was very personal to me because it changed my life. It offered me a wonderful career that I didn't even know about that existed. And so, yes, it's very personal to me.
Just imagine introducing a girl to engineering. I'm afraid that the engineering curriculum is changing at the universities too. I see so many more girls pursuing engineering than the time when I was in college. I think it's fabulous. I think that the combination of men and women in the profession is so powerful. It have us both gender-wise, tending to a problem and thinking. I think it broadens, the thinking, and I think it makes it more compelling and more meaningful, for human beings in general. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and what I like to describe to the girls that come is we need women in engineering just as much as we need men in engineering because they think differently. And so it adds value, creativity. That diversity is so important to all of our projects. So I tell them, you don't have to be like a man, pretend, because predominantly, it was a male-oriented type of career, but it has changed. It has changed so much. My operations director, Carmen Kasner, she's a woman. My sales director in the state of California, Lisa Pena, she's a woman. And so there's so much value to what women and men bring, to the team. So we, want to be able to come together. But yes, the inspiration, to draw these women and maybe have those teams that could be more balanced. It takes an effort like this to see the results, with all putting so much effort into introducing all of these girls to an engineering career. We've been thinking about how do we measure, how can we get some metrics so that we can see their path. Did they come to BC? We can track them when they come to BC. And then when they launch off, to a four-year university, and then when they get placed, in a career, how rewarding that would be, especially to all of our sponsors that have supported us for these 4 years, to just see some charts, because we're engineers, of all the metrics of the impact that we have made here, with 10 committee members volunteering, and doing this on our own time.
Any plans to take your program to other states that you're now trying to develop and entering with Ardura? Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada?
There's just so much opportunity. There's so much potential with this type of, outreach. I would encourage everybody, to just start something small and see where it takes a life of its own, really. So ACEC California has now developed probably like a 2 or 3 page handout if somebody is interested in starting something, with their chapter. So within the state of California, I would love to see, more programs like this. It's a one-day event throughout, the nation. But like I said, this is bigger than us. I don't know where it's going to go. But those people that say, yeah, I'll help, they get the most reward. And I think that based on my values as a person, I've been taught, to put God first, family second, career third, and God has given me purpose of being an engineer. Probably about 10 years ago, I almost quit my engineering career. And I was reminded that not everybody gets an engineering degree. They're hard. It's hard. But not having an engineering degree might be harder too. I have a great job.
There you go.
I have a house, I could afford things, and it's a very rewarding career. And so I was reminded, not everybody's able to pass their classes and get a degree. And then the PE in California. Not everybody passes their PE. I made it a priority as many times as I needed to take the test. And so it just reinvigorated the purpose for me being an engineer. And kind of the overarching purpose that became real to me when I started having a lot of fun with my career was I am able to provide safe and reliable drinking water to everybody in the state of California through our projects. So what more purposeful career could I ask for? And then adding value to our communities. It's been such a wonderful career. I really love my job.
Loli, I want to thank you for taking the time to talk to me. But I want to thank you on behalf of Ardura for leading the charge on such an important program for the community, not only for the community, for the city, for the state, and for you. How rewarding it is to see the results of what you're doing, seeing these kids going to an engineering profession. It just must be incredibly rewarding.
It is. And I give so much credit to all of our supporters, really. All of the people that have sponsored us, have believed in the program, are getting behind us, and it just really takes a lot of people. You'll see tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're like, the whole MESA program probably has 15 to 20 volunteers. We recruit our own volunteers. So yeah, it is very rewarding. And I do give a lot of credit to the people who have caught the vision of what we're trying to do.
Loli, thank you again for your time. I'm so excited to be in Bakersfield for this engineering week.
Yes, celebrating engineers throughout the nation. We celebrate you.
It's exciting to be here for, today is Girls' Day?
Yes,
as I
Girls'
understand.
Day.
Today is Girls' Day, and you, my guest, is Dolores Salgado, the chair of the program happening tomorrow. Thank you for taking the time to be with us. I look forward to continuing to follow your brilliant career, the great things that you're doing. Ardura is in safe hands here in California. I love your energy, your passion, the things you do for the firm. And I commend you for the work that you're doing this week, particularly for introducing a girl to engineering.
And I thank you. And I thank you. I thank Ardura for supporting these type of programs. And I thank you for coming out to Bakersfield and spending some time with me so we can highlight, some of these wonderful programs that Ardura is supporting.
Thank you. And friends, what an exciting time to share a little bit of the story of introducing a girl to engineering in Bakersfield, California. Stay tuned for the next edition of this Your Ardura podcast. We look forward to seeing you, and we'll catch you next time.